All right, everyone. Hey, we are live. We're sharing our screen. Don't you just love that effect? Check that out. That's really freaking cool. Oh, anyways, I know that's not what you want to see. So we are going to be talking about post analytics. Okay. So let me refresh my page here on my phone. I'm going to, now one of the things is on our screen here. Um, so if I don't, I'll be checking back from time to time to see if we have any comments or anything like that going on. Here we go. That way I can kind of take a look here, make sure that we have everything. So we are showing up here live and my screen is showing. What we're going to be talking about here today is basically organic reach on your post, okay? Creating your posts. If you've been paying attention to what I've been talking about here lately, one of the things that are my goal over the next, to reduce the numbers of drownings, to get a result, I believe that we need to reach 100 million people. In order to do that, I believe that we need to show up on the 2.45 billion active users that are on Facebook and also across the other platforms. We have had on our page, our website and everything, we've had, our website, everything, if we add up everything combined for the entire month of December, we've reached over 57,000 people. And that's with our podcast, that's with our social media, that's with some of our paid content that we put out where we run sponsored content to our podcast and also to some other posts that we're doing. But one of the things is understanding the algorithms, and I've been experimenting here. So one of the things you should be seeing, I'm on my Kels Group page. This is my fan page, and everybody can go in here. You can go at the top of your fan page. You should see your page, ad center, inbox, events, and then you should see insights. Okay, you want to go to your insights, okay, and take a look at your posts. Then you've got events, videos, stories, people, messages, and all these type of things. But I've taken a look. I've basically set this up since the 12th of December. Okay, but one of the things, you take a look and see, because here's your posts and everything. Now, Facebook is going to reward you. Okay, they're going to reward you if you do not put a link on. In other words, if you have a link that's sending somebody off Facebook, that's going to decrease your reach as far as your organic reach. So if you had 500 people that like your fan page, in this case, we'll just say the Kels Group, and I put a link to my podcast and put a link to other websites that are taking people off Facebook, Facebook is going to deliver that post to fewer people. Okay, so that's important to understand. Let me refresh my screen here real quick because we have some things going on here. And so we have a new post that just went out here, okay? And what I want to show you here, this is in our members area. I have a little bit of training on this. This is what I call the sandwich post. Basically, I'm taking somebody else's content, okay, if you will, and this is about Victorian pool and spa safety regulations. This is Victoria, Australia, and this is for residential pools. They are changing up. They've got new laws down there. So I'm posting this because I believe this is something that maybe we here in the United States could take a look at and see what other countries are doing, and we can learn from this. And maybe if we can get people to put in some of these things before the government comes in and says we have to do this. So anyways, that's a whole nother topic in itself. We want to keep this coffee break time, so like 15 minutes. So I got a lot of content here I want to go over with you. So one of the things that you can see here is you see the post, the date that published. We publish about 3 times a day. Typically very consistent on the time frames, and we publish at 7:55 a.m. every morning. We also have another one about 12:38. Another one goes out around 20 till 6, so about 5:40. But with that being said, this is a graph. You'll see the times of day when people are most engaging with your content. Okay. Between this period of time at 6 a.m., okay, for this time period, we've had at 6 a.m. we had 2,130 people engage with our post, okay, or our posts, as in plural. 9 a.m., I would have thought that would have been more, okay. So 6 a.m. in the morning is one of the best times, and then 11 p.m. So you figure 6 a.m., that's when people are getting up. They go off to work, okay, they come home, have dinner, they start jumping on their social media, and they go to bed. And so now they're checking their social media feeds, they go to bed. And then you can go down and take a look at the posts and see where the most engagement is at, okay? This tells you if there's if there's a link in there. Facebook tracks the links. Now, what we've just started doing is we've been putting a link in our post, but we are keeping the people on Facebook. So we're sending them to, in this case, we're sending them to our Kelsey Code page for them to become part of this organization. But at the same time, they'll go through some questions, and we invite them to join the Kelsey Code. We want to capture email addresses. We want to capture things. So that is an audience. So if we focus with trying to keep people as an audience so we can deliver more content and we can deliver things, because again, one of my missions is to show up on the 2.45 billion new active users on Facebook. Not just me, but that's across the board. And so now this is my Kels Group page. Then this here is another private group that I manage. It's the Let's Start a Water Safety Revolution. They give you some little different analytics, because you can't run sponsored content off of a private group. You can only do that off of a fan page or business page. So they just show this here for you to look at. So for an example, again, looking at the days of the week that maybe the posts that are getting the most engagement, how many members are really active during that period of time on those days. That gives you that. This is what I find. Wednesday is the best day. Wednesday gets the best reaction time, and roughly, it looks to be about 10 a.m. So about 10 a.m. gets the most activity, and then you can come down and see the posts, and then you can see how many people have seen the post, how many comments, and you can go down through and see the individual people. So this is good information to find out, what's resonating, what are people talking about, what are they engaging with. The next thing is Twitter. I don't know how many of you use Twitter, but I use Twitter. I post, again, 3 times a day on Twitter. Let me just say this. The analytics are rather surprising. So during a 28 period of time, we reached 15,600 people with our posts. Okay, these are our top tweets. So one about Miami-Dade schools, back swimming instruction. That had 57 engagements and over 896 impressions. Keep your eyes peeled to learn how to build a great partnership for your next life jacket loaner station. That's one of our podcasts. Okay, that's talking about one of our podcasts. And then, our day 3, this is my personal challenge. okay, where I'm trying to build momentum for myself. It's about my own personal health, things like that. So that's getting a lot of engagement, and we're wrapping our water safety, drowning prevention message around that, because one of the things I have found is when we're trying to reach people with our message, when we target people, say water safety messaging, drowning messaging, swim lesson messaging, we're limiting our audience from that standpoint to those people that might only be searching that. So we need to package our content in different ways, so we can kind of cover that and maybe bring some people in that are health conscious, that are fitness conscious because they probably swim or they take it, or they're outdoors people. And so we're trying to target them with different content, and then we can wrap our water safety message around that. Okay. And we've started doing that about a week ago, and we are seeing some really good hits on that. Again, here's our today's marketing challenge. We're putting out marketing challenges about something to do about water safety, because we talk to mostly people within the water safety, drowning prevention community. So Twitter, if you're not on Twitter, I mean, it's real-time stuff, and it's kind of difficult to really figure out and do all that. But again, it'll show you the days and the times and everything where people might be at. Okay. Now, if you're on LinkedIn's kind of a whole different thing. LinkedIn's really this is where I spend my time. I have the Sales Navigator. This is a paid program. I pay about $90 a month, I think it is. It's a very robust tool that doesn't give you limits to connection requests. It doesn't give you limits to messaging. It increases your numbers of in-mails, because they will only let you send. What's the beauty of this, and if you don't know what an in-mail is, you can send an email through LinkedIn, which has the LinkedIn branding, which the likelihood that if the person is active on LinkedIn, the likelihood goes way up that they're going to open that email. But what they give you is a social index here. Everybody has one, but you only can see that if you use the Sales Navigator, and they'll give you a 30-day free trial to play in here. But we were doing real good here. Build relationships. We're at 25. We do a great job at building relationships, and that's where it's at. Establish a personal, professional brand. We do an okay job there. And then finding the right people, that number slipped. We were up a lot higher. And then engagement. Our engagements dropped down because we've been focusing on some other platforms and things. But this is an area that we need to come back in and focus on engagement. So this, if you can knock out 25, I'll tell you what, if you're in the top 80%, this is huge. Now, this shows you what, okay, this would be people in your team. So in other words, this is me, which is really just me, because I don't have other people on my team that are part of my LinkedIn program. But these are people in my industry. My industry is water safety, drowning prevention. So people in the industry, they're only averaging 20%. As you can see, they aren't doing very well. Even in my porous area, they're only doing 1.43%. In engagement or building relationships, they're only about 6.25%. And then people in my network, and I am connected to primarily aquatics professionals, water safety, swim instructors, swim schools, people like that. They are an average score of 38. So again, really, these areas here, they're not doing so good. Building relationships, they're not doing that great. So people just are not doing what it takes to get their message or get in front of the right people. So these insights can be very, very important. Now, one of the things is, the reason why I wanted to show you this, and then Instagram, hopefully you're on Instagram also, but Instagram's a little different, and then YouTube is getting very difficult to build an audience, and because they're getting it's such a huge, huge platform. And so, we're still working on that and trying to, I built a couple other YouTube channels, but have since let those go. That was probably a bad mistake, because that was a few years ago when it was much easier to get attention. Starting over again is a little more difficult. So we'll be talking a little bit more about YouTube and some of those other channels later on as we develop our channel a little better. But I want to talk about Omnipresence. And if you're on Instagram, you can see your insights on your phone. I have Instagram on my desktop, but it has limited functionality on my desktop, so you can't see everything. But the Omnipresence is showing up across the platforms. The other thing I want to talk to you about is also TikTok. TikTok's got some bad press, but it is a platform that we're looking at. Because the audience is between 14 and 18 years of age. These people will be adults. They will have children someday, because they're not using Facebook. They're not using Twitter. They may be using Instagram, but it's hard to target them. So that is an area that we're working with right now, and I'm working with a couple people on that. So we're going to be testing that going into 2020. But Omnipresence is about showing up across the board. The biggest thing that I believe has been one of the struggles in the water safety community, okay, is around obscurity. People just don't know. And that's why, we're looking at some of our challenges around our 30-day challenge and putting different things. Now, I also want to put in there, as part of our Kelsey Code for 2020, I want to create a group of people that want to make a commitment. I want to set this up as a 30-day challenge going into 2020. And we will work together to create 2 different posts a day, using this insight right here, targeting your best time frames, putting one post out at this time, putting one post out at 11 p.m. and maybe a story post of some sort here, and maybe more of a direct post, and maybe driving traffic to your other Facebook page or something. But regardless, we want to test that, and 2 different types of posts, and then we can come together each week and we can share our findings, so we can really get good at resonating, getting the right message, finding out what works. Is it video, or is it a photograph? And the one thing I will tell you on Instagram, if you are using Instagram a lot, Instagram allows you to do carousels. Carousels are really, really important, and Carousel will give you up to 10 pictures, and let those 10 pictures tell the story, and then give somebody a call to action, tell them where to go, what to do, and then make those pictures engaging. It takes a little more time. It's a little more intense. It's so you may not be able to put those together 10 times a day, or 10 pictures a day, twice a day, because that might take, right now I'm noticing, I'm not a really creative guy, but to create and find the pictures or create the pictures, take the pictures. I mean, I've got winter. It's like 10 degrees outside, and I can take pictures of frozen water, and I can tell a story maybe around ice safety or something. But again, trying to make it engaging and make the posts positive. The other thing, Facebook algorithms, and also because Facebook owns Instagram, their algorithms do not like negative posts. So anything that talks about death, dying, drowning, and I refer to these as the D words, those are negative words. They will decrease your reach. Same thing with, but if you talk about something positive, life and enjoying, and also make sure that you talk about your positive response and the results that you've gotten, and not put it out there and say, well, so-and-so got this result, because now Facebook doesn't like that. Their algorithms will pick that up, and it will decrease your reach. And this works, I believe this works across all the platforms. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about here today. So I've got my coffee, and I'm going to come out of screen sharing here if this